Hello, it's Sarah Berry from stampwithsarah.co.uk. Thanks for watching the video today. Now, today I've been busy crafting in my craft room and I have 20 lots of gifts to make for my Strawberry Stampers team members. Now you can see the first lots of 10 are these clear faceted gems, and these are brand new to Stampin' Up. Each person is going to receive a pack of these gems as their gift, and I'm just adding some decoration to the front. Now I didn't record this section to start with, but you can see the blue strip of paper around the front. It's cut from a piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper, so I've just taken the full sheet of paper and kept it 12 inches long, but then cut it into 1 inch width strips, and then I've just simply wrapped it round, and it literally just got a fold in the center, so that would be at the 6-inch mark, and popped the end of the pattern paper into the triple banner punch to cut me out that V. Now I was careful not to push the paper too far into the triple banner punch, because actually I found it cut a little bit too much off of the length, because I wanted enough space for the staple. But you can see I just finished it off with a 2-inch circle, which is made from the glimmer paper, the silver glimmer paper, and now I'm going to add a little bit more decoration to it. So that's the first 10 done, and the paper is actually from the Naturally Eclectic Designer Series paper, and it's more of the plainer side of that paper actually. The other side of the paper is a floral pattern, but I went for this dark blue, which is like a deep night of navy colour. Now I'm going to add a pig onto the front of these gifts, and this pig is the one that's sitting down on his bottom in the mud. It's from this Little Piggy stamp set. Now this is a brand new release to the Stampin' Up annual catalogue for 2017 to 2018, and you can get it in the clear mount, which is the type I'm using today. Clear mount means it's red rubber, but you've got a grey cling foam on the back, or you can get it in wooden blocks, so that means your red rubber stamp is supplied with wooden blocks. I find that's great if you are used to using wooden blocks, but also if you are a brand new crafter and don't own any blocks, I would recommend you getting yourself a stamp set with a set of blocks inside. Okay, so I've got one little piggy here, and I'm just inking it up in the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and the paper, the cardstock, is Whisper White. Now we do two different types of Whisper White. This is the thin Whisper White, and the other is the thick, which I recommend you using for your cards. Now I've just tried that 2-inch circle punch, and I just got it off the bottom of the screen, and actually the 2-inch circle is too small for this pig, so that was going to be option number 1, but the second option is going to be using a bigger circle, which is from the Stitched Shapes framelits. Now you'll see the Stitched Shapes framelits in a minute. I'm just going to start and do 10 pigs. So I'm doing 10 pigs on the Whisper White, sorry. The I can't say it, it's such a mouthful. The Stitched Shapes framelits is a set of 12. Now I'll be using the largest circle, but then there are 3 other circles that go in that nest nicely inside. Then we have the same in ovals and also squares. So you get 4 squares, 4 ovals and 4 circles, and this one is the largest one that you can see that I'm putting through my big shot. Just running it back and forth. I'm not going to show you all 10 being cut out because they are exactly the same. So now I'm moving on to colouring in the pig, and I'm doing this today with one of the aqua painters. Now for speed I own several aqua painters. If you just have the one, I would say you need to get rid of any excess ink when you're changing colour. So if you go from this bright pink to a pale pink, you want to make sure you get rid of that excess ink that's still on the tip of that watercolour brush there. And I would do that just by going onto the grid paper that I've got in the background. Now that grid paper is available to purchase. It's not a demonstrator only product. It's available in a pack of 100 sheets for £10. So next time you're ordering, it might be worth throwing one of those into your basket because they last a long time. So the colours I'm using today, I've got Berry Burst for the pig's nose and his ears, his trotters and his curly tail. And then I've used Powder Pink just for the body of the pig, and then I've got Old Olive just to colour in the blades of grass, and lastly a crumb cake marker pen for the mud, which I just went across the bottom underneath the piggy. Now it's good to say that I'm not actually squeezing the aqua painter. I find the aqua painters just trickle very slowly out, and you shouldn't really need to squeeze, especially seeing as I'm using Whisper White cardstock. The Whisper White cardstock won't take very much water at all, and I find that there's really no need to really flood this with water at all. You're just borrowing the brush really off the aqua painter to smooth and spread about the ink onto the pig. So the sentiment underneath the pig, it says "This little piggy," and then you also get a message in the stamp set that says "Loves you." So it says "This little piggy loves you." Now you didn't see me do it, but I actually cut this out 10 times using the hearts from the Sweetheart framelits. Now the Sweetheart framelits, you get more like a traditional heart, and then you also get like a bit more of a curved heart that's a bit more tapered in at the top and at the bottom. Now I didn't use the smallest heart, I used the second smallest heart for each shape. So one is more of your traditional heart, as I said, and then the other one, this one that you can see in the frame at the moment, is a little bit got more of a nice finished point at the bottom. But I use both because I like them both, and also for speed going through the big shot because I'm doing multiple die cuts. So that's 2. I've got 2 little piggies. Now I looked at them and I thought it needs something else, so I'm grabbing Soft Sky at the moment. Soft Sky is the palest blue that we do, and I felt like it just needed a little bit of colour behind the pig. So the Soft Sky, I'm just squeezing the top of the ink pad there, and I will be picking up the ink using my aqua painter and just going around the piggy. I just thought it really lifted him off the circle there. And here he is. This is a close-up photograph of one of the finished pigs. Now you can see I'm going outside of the lines, and I'm not really too worried about that. I think that just makes it look handmade and just adds to the charm of this little piggy. So now I'm going to move on to the second batch of 10, and that is using the gold faceted gems. So you can see I've started recording right from the beginning of making this project, and you can see I've just wrapped the 12 by 12, the 12 by 1 inch strip, of pattern paper around, and just folded it in half, and then I'm putting it through into the triple banner punch and just letting it peek out at the bottom there. Normally you would push it right up to the right hand side of that punch, but as I said, I just wanted a little tiny bit off, because otherwise for this project it would just be a little bit too much. Now I've stapled that together, and that will stay nicely in place. Now just to repeat for the next 9. Now this purple pattern paper is from the Eastern Palace Specialty Designer Series paper stack, and the purple is actually Fresh Fig, and that's one of our brand new in colours for 2017 to 2019. Okay, so now it's the turn of A Little Wild. A Little Wild is a brand new stamp set to the Stampin Up 2017-2018 annual catalogue. I've picked the lion here. You can see I've got the front of the lion and the back of the lion that just come out all in one piece. Now that is because it's actually designed to be used with the framelets bundle that comes with it, in the bundle. It's actually designed to be a tag, so you've got the front half of the animal and then the other half of the animal. So when you open the tag, you've got something on either side, which is really cute. But today I'm just going to be using the front of the lion, and I'm going to show you how I achieve this by masking off with a sticky note. So all you need is one sticky note, and I'm just placing it with the sticky strip right down that middle in between the tops of the lion's head. That is a sticky piece. Now I'm using Memento ink again on Whisper White thin cardstock. Just make sure that post-it note is really stuck down, it doesn't lift off. And then when you add your ink onto the top, it will just push that post-it note down and just reinforce that it will not be lifting off. Now when you're ready to stamp down onto the paper, you take the post-it note off, and then you can just stamp the lion down. Out it pops. This is the 2-inch circle punch. Isn't it cute? It fits that perfectly, doesn't it? So now just grab that original post-it note, pop it back in the same position, ink up again, lift the post-it note off, and stamp down onto your paper. It's as easy as that, and I'm stamping and punching as I go along, so I know how much space I've got to play with. Rather than guess, I know exactly how much to move and stamp along in a row without wasting cardstock. So again, I need 10 of these, and I just love how they just pop out of that 2-inch circle punch. And I think I'm going to get 5 along here. Now after the first 5 lions, I actually scrapped that post-it note because it's getting a bit inky. Not wet and juicy, but I just wanted to, post-it notes are relatively cheap, so I've swapped. I've peeled off a brand new one for the next 5 after this. Okay, so I've jumped ahead on the video a little bit. I've got some soft sky cardstock out and cut 2 of the stitch shapes out because I just felt we needed a little bit of soft sky in the background, just like I did on the pig, but this time I've used the cardstock instead. So I've got the largest square and the largest circle, just to give a little bit of interest. I love the stitched detail. It just adds something else to your projects. Now you can see that we've got like a green cloud on the gift here. It's actually from the tree builder punch, and it's meant to be a tree. I'll be adding the tree trunks in a minute, but if you look at the tops of the tree, the leaves, you can imagine you can actually cut them out in white cardstock for clouds, and you can actually cut them in various different pastel shades and create your own ice creams, and you can get them as tall as you'd like. So check out the tree builder punch and also the stamp set that you can get that goes with it, because there's lots of different things. If you like your punch art, this is definitely a punch for you. So now it's time to glue the tree trunks on, and I use a fine tip glue, which is a clear glue, and it comes out of that very tiny tip, so you can be very precise with the glue. A little squeeze of the bottle goes a long way, so once you buy one of these, your bottle will last you a while. Just remember to put that lid back on. When you put the lid back on, it's like a very fine needle or a pin, and it needs to go in the hole. If you miss the hole, your glue will dry up and you'll have to unscrew and just unclog your glue. But as long as you get that hole, just be very careful. Maybe rest it along on the table, push it in. You'll find that you'll get that pin straight into that tip there. So you can see a little glue. I'm just putting it on the top of the tree trunks because the bottom half actually just overhangs and it's not stuck down at all. So now it's time to start colouring in the lions. Now normally I would just colour them in on the sheets, and then after I've coloured them in, I would then put them onto the project, but I've actually done it backwards today. I'm too eager to get them stuck down onto the finished gift. So I've got my aqua painters out again. This time I'm using Cajun Craze and also crushed curry. I'm going for a bright, bold lion. So just squeeze that ink pad again and it creates a little pool of ink. Not enough to make it run when you close the ink pad up, and it will just stay in that ink palette there. And I'd absolutely love the ink pads for this. I think the fact that you can do that and you can keep it stored, there's no mess, and anything to reduce mess in my crafting area is a bonus for me. So I've just got all of the manes to do and the tails, and I'm just putting a little bit onto the toes of the lion. So I'm zooming in here. You could probably see me colouring in a little bit better with it being closer. You'll notice that I'm just leaving a little bit of white, and I like to do this. I like to leave a bit of white space. I don't particularly colour in any particular way. I'm very slapdash. I'm not it's not for speed, but it is obviously a speedy way of doing it, but it's just the way I colour in. Very wavy, you know, no precise, no technique involved really at all. So now it's time to add the crushed curry. Now I think he's so cute in bright yellow. I think it's really stunning, and it really just finished him off. I'm just doing another one. So I do all 10 like this, and then right at the end I actually decide it needs a little bit more colour, and I go for the cherry cobbler ink and just add a little bit around his mane. So here we are. Here is all 10 lions finished. They're all exactly the same, with the exception of the watercolour. The watercolouring is obviously slightly different. I love that I added the cherry cobbler to the mane, because you can just see it's a little bit orange and it's a little bit red, and it just works well together. I added the sentiment "Wild About You." I thought it needed a little something, and this was included in the stamp set, the same stamp set as the lion, so they are designed to go really well together. So I hope my team members really like these. These went out today, all 20 of them, to various different people in my team. I'm not quite sure which one is my favourite. You'll have to let me know. Please do let me know whether you like the pigs or the lions, or you'd be happy with both. Please do leave me a comment in the comments box below. Like my video if you liked it, and please subscribe so you can see more videos like this one arriving in your inboxes. Thank you so much for watching. If you need any advice on any of the Stampin' Up products you found in today's video, please contact me below or directly on my website at stampwithsarah.co.uk. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye.